Hello, Perfect Death here, and let's make some easy videos. I've been procrastinating stuff on some of this, and I'm going to do one on victory bells again. This one is going to be about channel sticks. Channel sticks are a great way to farm something called your diplomatic channels. That's your resources up here. Why would you want these resources? You can go into the store down here. You can check out the diplomacy. And then in each of these tabs, you'll have some stuff that's, costs varying amounts. And some of these are equipment that'll have like unique little stats, like this 8.8 centimeter twin gun. It's got this little plus explosive on it. I think of the French one, they've got one in this big expensive one here, which has a bunch of different items. One of them is this battleship quad cannon that's got max explosion on it. So you can find a couple of choice picks every now and then whenever this refreshes. And so some of these you'll find. And so whenever you do a map, at the end you complete your mission, they'll give you some of these points depending on the campaign. And you'll get a very small amount of it unless you do the channel stick thing. So the modifier that decides how much you get is in the this BoD section here. And so you'll see Hermes, I have decided to make her the BoD for this. Her old channel modifier is 424%. The relations ones, those aren't quite as useful compared to the channel reward. And you can also stack some other ones like the ammo, munition, some resource times, production times. So picking a BoD and just, stacking as many of these modifiers as you can is a great way of getting more resources, particularly for that. So one of the easiest channel sticks to make is this 3-pounder Hotchkiss. I think it comes stock as a gear on Hood, the battlecruiser. This one, it comes with this quirk called the Salute, and that gives you 35% to all channels. And I put another one on here, which is the Export Markets one, which is a 30%. This Export Market quirk you can discover off of Velasco's guns. So Velasco is a very cheap, I think she's just one vesture and you can rescue her, but this little cannon of hers, it actually comes with this quirk on it that I was showing. She also has a range keeper with a pretty good quirk on it too, so ironically she's got a couple of useful things like that. But so when you do make a channel stick and you do put on the other quirk, because you don't really have to modify the traits on there, because those traits, in this case I did it anyway just to reduce the weight, but honestly you don't really have to worry about that too much if you use a item that's already this light. So all you really need to do is just have the 2 quirks. There aren't any traits that modify channels anyway. You don't even have to clean out the gremlins on this, because unless you want to use your BoD to fight for some reason, because this is not a good fighting equipment set, this is just for stacking channel rewards, then you don't need to R&D the item to get rid of the gremlins. Just stick it on. And you do want to do enough refit so that all of these get unlocked, so that you can at least put one of these onto each slot. And then also you can put them onto each of the light battery slots as well. And you can get torpedoes. I think I'm currently researching this Whitehead one. This one came from a Polish destroyer that was an event bell, and that one I think has a small amount. The KR1 scout plane, Soviet scout plane. Apparently it has some on it too. I'm looking into, min-maxing my channel stick stuff, because you can make a channel stick for a torpedo, and some of the other parts too, like your directors, your range keepers. I think some of them are pretty small, but in this case, you can see I've also put one of each of these on there. This is a fighter plane that comes off of the League of Nations reward. In particular, it has this Arsenal de l'Aéronautique, which is a 5% to all channel. And so probably even change out, because I don't think this one has, yeah, he's got just 10% British channels. So if I really wanted to, I could put another one in, but I don't have any extras of that. So I was looking at doing a thing where I researched that Soviet scout plane and then make a version of this that just has that other channel thing or something like that. Make a slightly better channel plane, because that's why I have this as a carrier. You do have to refit cap to get all of these slots unlocked, and when you do that, then you can actually put in a whole bunch of these. And so when each of these are sitting at 5% each, it's quite good. I probably should. Does this one have channels? No. Sometimes you can get crew that have channels as well. This one is just BoD relations to all, which, I mean, he's the only thing I've got there. Sometimes you can get others. Yeah, he has 2.5% on his there. This guy actually has a 4 there, a 5 there, so he actually has slightly higher on his. So then I can get an extra 4% there. And sometimes you can get some off of like mascots. This is BoD relations. And then like the supply officer here, he's got relations, yeah. And let's see, does he have any? Just quick check, see if I can do a little more. Nope, those are just all relations on him, and none on him. So, and that's, for the most part, that's largely it there. But you do have the diplomacy kits. These diplomacy kits, when you're doing your promotions, those will give you that little BoD modifier for channels, I believe. And this one, I think this is where you can get the bonuses to either fleet or BoD extra resources. So I do have to, do I? Nope, it remembered it. Cool. So I'll just refit that, and that'll get me just a tiny little bit more when you do those. And so some ways of farming your channels you can do by doing hard mode runs. If you find a map that has something like, let's say I want more the French channels, one way is you can find a map that's high level that does provide it, or you can do like a hard mode fight, like this level 1 here. If I switch it to hard mode, and then let's just throw them in. There's not going to be too many fights on this. But by doing these fights, the hard mode you can't quite AFK, is if you had the auto. But you do get a boost to your resources, because it does try to elevate the level that you got off of it. They did make a bunch of changes to the hard mode too. So it's no longer, the enemies will actually kind of scale their level based off of whoever they're targeting. So if you have like a level 100 and a level 50, when the Morgana attacks the level 100, it'll be like they are the same level 100s. If they attack the level 50, then it's like they're both all 50s in terms of like hit rate and stuff like that, accuracy modifiers based off of levels. So it kind of stops it from being like, you don't have to make sure you have your bells all at the same level like before. You tried to like spread out your exp, and so I got it done. And then instead of getting like 30, I would get like 100, and then because I've got that like plus 400%, it jumps up to like a 40, like a 400, instead of, sitting at just almost 100. So that quadrupled the amount of channels that I'm getting. And so then you can farm that resource a little bit better. The other way is you just try to find a map that is high enough level and convenient for you to do that. So, but that's basically it for channels. It's pretty simple. You kind of just look through. You'd probably want to go through, say, the Discord, see, because I know people try to keep track of stuff like which items provide which channel modifiers to try to min-max their channels. But one of the other things to note is the League of Nations. They did change it so when you go into your research, hurrying the R&D now costs League of Nation points, whereas it used to be the premium currency, the prestige, which only now applies to producing new items rather than just researching new items. So that's another reason for getting lots of BoD channel farming done. So I'll call it for that video there. Make it nice and quick. Bye.